Partial Veil contains extreme subject matter and mature content. Listener discretion is advised. A complete list of content warnings for this episode can be found in the show notes. For optimal audio experience, yeah, you're gonna want those headphones.
Date: Thursday, October 21st, 1998. Distance from the moon: 406,656 kilometers. Moon at apogee.
I am so glad you're back. That was delicious. There's a limit to how many microwave meals a human can eat, and I passed that line long ago.
And there it is. The truth comes out. You were just using me for my culinary skills this whole time.
Well, that's one of the reasons. You also lift heavy things for me.
Well, nothing if not utilitarian. Tea?
Thank you. Perfect as always.
A rare skill here in the Americas. So, I am somewhat loath to ask, but really? Microwaved meals? The entire time I was gone?
Well, no.
That no sounds disingenuous.
Well, for your information, I also ate cereal.
Ah, for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Josie...
And sandwiches.
Sandwiches? You made?
No.
Sandwiches from where?
From... Grover's.
Grover's? The gas station? Sandwiches from the gas station? Dear God, Josie Ward. You've hit an all-time low. I'm not sure I want you in my house anymore.
Hey, you were missing, so, nutrition wasn't exactly high on my list of priorities. I mean, most days I could barely eat anyway. I was too busy looking for you.
Do you know the story of Ariadne?
Is that what we just ate?
No, that was beef stroganoff. Ariadne is a character from Greek myth. You know, the Minotaur? The Labyrinth?
The Labyrinth? Like the David Bowie movie?
Well, like the David Bowie movie, in that there is a labyrinth, but also no.
Oh, well, that certainly clears it up.
Josie Ward.
Oh, God, what?
Would you like to hear a story?
From you? Always.
Very well, then. I shall regale you with a tale. Now, often Ariadne is a footnote, a mere supporting actress, and most of the screen time goes to Theseus, a self-professed divine hero. Now, in some stories, Theseus is said to be the son of Aegeus, king of Athens, and yet other stories proclaim him to be none other than the offspring of Poseidon himself, god of the sea. So, either way you spin it, our lad Theseus was VIP. Now, on the island of Crete, where Ariadne lived, her father had built a giant labyrinth so vast and complex that once someone entered, they'd never find their way out again. The labyrinth was also home to the Minotaur, a half-man, half-monster that had the features of both a human and a bull. One day, brave Theseus shows up with all his bravado and swagger, boldly proclaiming that he's going to kill the Minotaur.
Why?
What?
I mean, dude was just gonna kill the beast thing just because it's a beast thing? I mean, he doesn't know the first thing about it, does he? Seems needlessly cruel.
You know what? I don't remember that part. Let's just say the Minotaur had eaten some of Theseus's friends, right? That's pretty standard, will that do?
Hey, it's your story.
Ah, but you're the one who has to sit through it.
Touché. Well, continue.
So, the devilishly handsome Theseus shows up on Crete, determined to slay the beast that had allegedly eaten his friends. Well, our heroine, Ariadne, takes one look at his dastardly good looks and falls instantly in love with him, as one does.
Mm-hmm.
But, alas, Theseus is telling everyone who will listen that he is heading into the labyrinth to slay the Minotaur. This, of course, means certain death. Ariadne is inconsolable. Tears stream from her eyes. Her bosom heaves with her sobs. She beats her fists upon her breast and curses the gods on high.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yes. She's woozy with love.
Woozy. Oh, I like that. Good one, Jose.
Right. I'm glad I could help. So, where is this story going?
One might wonder if our story itself is caught in the labyrinth. Perhaps now that I've started, we'll be lost in it for all time, doomed to spend eternity here at my kitchen table. More tea?
Huh? Sure, yeah.
Now, as I was saying...
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just singed my hand a bit on the kettle.
What was that you said? That wasn't English.
Oh, that I picked up from my grandfather. It's Welsh.
Welsh? Oh. I didn't know you actually spoke Welsh. Can you say anything else?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, go on.
Yes. Well, where were we? The lovesick Ariadne tries to convince Theseus not to go into the labyrinth because, you know, the whole lost forever and dying from being gored by a giant man-beast 1-2 combo. But our lad is fierce and determined and is not about to let anything come between him and the beast that may or may not have eaten his family.
I thought you said it ate his friends.
It ate people very close to him, and that's all he needs to know to be drunk on vengeance. So, Ariadne, even though she's got dubious taste in men, is quite a smart cookie. She gives Theseus not only a sword with which he shall avenge his fallen friends and or family, but also, and here's the important part, a ball of string. Now, what was he meant to do with the ball of string, you might ask?
I would indeed ask that. What is he supposed to do with a ball of string?
Well, he was also stumped. He stared at it, dumbfounded, until our heroine smacked his pretty face and explained that he was to tie the end to the mouth of the labyrinth, so that he could follow the unraveled string and find his way back out again.
What if he ran out of string?
What's that?
Well, you said this labyrinth was enormous, right? I mean, how big was this ball of string? It had to run out eventually, right?
My dear, please stop asking rational questions during Greek myth story time, or I shall be forced to defenestrate you.
You're gonna throw me out the window.
You remembered. Now hush. We're getting to the good part.
overwhelmed with anticipation.
Oh, you will be, because now we finally get to the Minotaur, the beast himself. Theseus draws the sword given to him by Ariadne. It gleams and glimmers in the light. He does a few fancy sword moves, not for any purpose really, but just because they make him look cool, and he looks very cool. But the Minotaur isn't impressed. It stamps the ground and snorts. It puts its head down and begins to charge. Oh, looks like it's curtains for our man Theseus, but ha-ha! At the last second, he leaps out of the way. And as he does, his shining sword arcs through the air and slices the Minotaur's head clean off. Theseus is victorious. He then follows his never-ending spool of thread back to the entrance of the labyrinth and escapes.
Well, yay! Good for him. And?
What do you mean, and? He won! The Minotaur was vanquished.
Right, but what about Ariadne? I mean, didn't you say the story was about her?
Oh, right, yes. She is overjoyed when Theseus steps out of the labyrinth alive and, well, and ends up accompanying him back to Athens.
So they end up together? Like, happily ever after?
Well, the Greeks weren't exactly big on happily ever after. As it turns out, on their way back to Athens, they stopped off at the island of Naxos, and they had this enormous party to celebrate. And then, the next morning, as Ariadne was sleeping on the beach, the ship, kind of set sail without her.
What?
Now, some versions say that Theseus was devastated when he found out that Ariadne had been left behind.
Well, some versions. And the other versions?
Well, those seem to indicate that he might have left her there on purpose.
Well, what the hell? She saves that dirtbag's life and he just ditches her on an island?
Only in some versions.
Right, because being accidentally left behind is so much better.
Right. Well, now that I think about it, it was probably not the best story to tell.
You think?
I had meant it to be the tale of a wise and caring woman who helped out a hapless cretin. But yeah, I guess that ending kind of copped it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say is, thank you.
What?
Thank you, Josie Ward. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for giving me a sword to fight my demons and a ball of thread to always find my way back. Thank you for always drinking my tea.
Well, I like your tea. Thanks for always making it for me.
As long as you keep coming to see me, I'll keep making you tea.
Always?
Always.
Come in. Please, have a seat, ladies.
This is the FBI agent I told you about. Agent Arlene Whitt.
Agent Whitt. John Boyd. This is Dr. Carlyle.
Good to meet you, Agent Boyd. Dr. Carlyle.
10 days ago, I was contacted and instructed to go to Barron, North Dakota, as you know. I was told to identify myself as FBI, and to further that cover, I enlisted the help of Agent Whitt. We were there to search for a missing person, the man we know as Oliver Rhys. 3 days ago, Oliver Rhys returned to Barron, claiming to have no knowledge of where he was during the time that he was missing.
Do you believe him?
Not for a second.
Continue.
I have reason to believe that Oliver Rhys may indeed be Laszlo Erdish.
Uh-huh. What evidence you got for that?
None. Yet. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. I'm asking for permission to give Agent Whitt clearance on the Kartusk incident.
Agent Whitt's not CIA.
I'm aware of that, sir. Though I believe she can be a valuable asset on this. She has knowledge of the circumstances surrounding Mr. Rhys's recent disappearance, as well as other odd behavior occurring in the town.
You think this odd behavior is linked to Mr. Rhys?
I have reason to believe it may be.
Agent Whitt?
Yes, sir.
Has Agent Ramsey told you anything about the Kartusk incident?
Only the name, sir. Agent Ramsey is nothing if not a stickler for the rules. That's why we're here, to get clearance.
Uh-huh. Agent Whitt, how much do you know about physics?
My guess would be more than the average American, less than a physicist.
Oh, good for you. That's more than I know about it. So this is where Dr. Carlyle takes over. Doctor?
In November of 1983, 3 Hungarian men, 2 physicists and a mathematician, traveled to an area of Russia known as Kartusk.
Never heard of it.
That's not surprising. It's very remote. It was chosen specifically for its remoteness.
Chosen? Chosen for what?
We're not entirely sure. Experiments of some kind. We know that one of the physicists, Andres Dunai, worked at Los Alamos in the 40s.
Project Y?
Oh, you do know more than the average American. Yes, Dr. Dunai was a part of the Manhattan Project. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it is noteworthy. The other physicist, István Sikora, worked at CERN for most of his career. Not much is known about the mathematician, János Kardos. From the information we gathered, he was something of a prodigy, recruited at a young age by the Hungarian government.
Recruited for what?
Good question. No one seems to know. What we do know is that the Russians were building something in Kartusk. Something big.
Big like a ship? A building?
Not quite. Think bigger.
We think it was a particle accelerator. Or something similar to that.
Like CERN?
Well, again, we're not sure. Our information was not particularly reliable.
Wait, you said was. Take it that it's no longer operational.
That would be correct. As far as we know, it was abandoned after the incident.
Right. I suppose something pretty massive must have happened if they named a whole incident after it.
November 26th, 1983.
What happened?
We don't know exactly. But then again, neither does Russia. Whatever they were doing out there in Siberia, something went wrong.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, we don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody.
Listen, whatever it was that was going on in Kartusk, we know there was daily communication with Moscow. That's it. On November 26th, Moscow lost contact. Completely. Nothing. Zip. They couldn't get a hold of anyone there. So what'd they do? They sent a team to Kartusk to investigate. What they found... It was a massacre.
What do you mean?
Every single person at Kartusk was dead.
How?
They killed each other, Agent Whitt. Or rather, it was impossible to tell who killed who. Apparently, some killed themselves. It took days to get the final body count because they had to try to match the limbs to the person. But eventually, they determined that every single person at the compound that day was dead. All except for one. Dr. Kardos.
The mathematician. What happened to him?
Good question. No one knows.
But it was a research complex, right? Surely there was video footage? Audio at the very least.
Uh-huh. There was.
I don't understand. If there's video footage, why do you still not know what happened?
Because everyone who watched that footage instantly lost their goddamn mind. They lashed out, attempted to kill any human they saw. And if none were around, they'd kill themselves any way they can, including their bare hands.
Holy shit. So, what does this all have to do with Oliver Rhys?
We don't know the full story, but in 1985, British Special Forces with MI6, they infiltrated the Russian government. They heard rumors that there was video footage of the incident, so they sent people in to, obtain it.
To steal it?
Yeah, sure.
What could they possibly want with it?
Come on. Why do governments want anything? They want to weaponize it, of course. They experimented and had expected results.
Expected results? Do you mean they showed it to people?
That's exactly what I mean, Agent Whitt.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. Now, we do have some information about what they were working on at Kartusk, but it's quite limited.
Okay. What were they working on?
Agent Whitt, how much of the electromagnetic spectrum do you think humans can see?
Again, not my area of expertise, but 10, 20%.
The human eye can perceive 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Wow, that's pretty small.
There is a lot out there that we can't see, but it can still affect us. Like radiation, for example. There's a lot out there that we can't see that can't affect us. At least not without help.
Where are you going with this?
From what little we do know, we think that they were trying to make contact with something at Kartusk. Something that's only detectable under very specific conditions. Formless, massless, but intelligent. A presence.
Like aliens?
No. Something that is of this earth, but unreachable. Usually.
I'm not following.
Okay. This piece of paper. I can touch it, I can hold it, I can read what's written on it, right? But if I put this piece of paper inside an envelope, the paper still exists, theoretically, but I can't see it. I can't touch it, I can't read it, and most importantly, I can't do any of those things unless I tear the envelope.
So you're saying that what they were attempting at Kartusk was tearing a hole? In what? And to where?
Oh, that's what we don't know. The notes obtained from Dr. Kardash seem to indicate they were trying to free something, or rather to help it to get there. But it seems like whatever those scientists did, they opened a channel. Drawing this presence to our plane, they led it here.
But I still don't understand. What is it?
A being of immense power.
We're not sure.
So, what does it want?
All right, slow down. Hang on.
Kardash's notes, in true mathematician fashion, were written in code. Extremely elaborate code. And we haven't been able to decipher much of what little we do have. Based on what happened at Kartusk, we initially thought the presence only wanted to kill, but from the tests conducted using the video footage, It seems like it's seeking a host. Like it could only exist on this plane inside a human.
A symbiotic relationship?
Oh, correct. However, it does seem that the human mind cannot handle it. It simply breaks.
And somehow this channel can be opened through a video.
Apparently, yes.
How?
We don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot you don't know, apparently. All right, so Oliver Rhys, how is he connected?
We believe his real name is Laszlo Erdős. If the information we have is correct, he was born in Hungary right around 1962. Then he immigrated with his family to the UK when he was 6. His father was Hungarian, and his mother was Russian. He joined the British Army when he was 18. We think he was either working as a spy for Russia from the beginning, or maybe he was turned by Russian agents after he joined the military. What we do know is that on January 24th, 1986, he stole the footage of the Kartusk incident from a military compound outside Oxford, killing his superior officers and fellow soldiers in the process. He then later killed his father before disappearing completely. It was assumed that he defected to Russia.
But you think he came to the U.S. instead? To Barron, North Dakota?
Well, not at first. He arrived in the U.S. on August 9th, 1987. His passport was suspicious and got flagged. We've been keeping tabs on him ever since, no matter where he goes or who he pretends to be.
But why? What the hell could he possibly want in Barron?
That, Agent Whitt, is exactly what I intend to find out. So, now you know.
Thank you. So, what now?
We need to stay in Bismarck a few more days. Now that we're fairly certain Oliver Rhys is Laszlo Erdős, they'll want to do a few more briefings. Make sure we've got as much information on the situation. Kartusk, Dr. Kardosh, as possible. Then we'll head back to Barron. Once there, we'll monitor Oliver Rhys until we can confirm his identity.
And once we do?
We'll take him into custody.
And afterwards? When we head back to D.C.?
You're FBI.
Yeah.
We don't work together.
Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be with the Bureau. I'm hanging on like a hair on a biscuit. There's no reason why I can't start over somewhere else.
Well, that's your decision to make.
I remember you once told me about that island in Greece. You said it was paradise. That the whole time you were there, you felt so free, so alive. I'd already been falling for you by that point, but I remember you telling me about it, lying in bed with the sunlight pouring itself all around you like honey. That's when I truly fell in love with you. And when I closed my eyes, I saw the two of us there, together. So why not?
We have work to do.
And afterwards? Why can't you just...
Because I can't. I made a mistake.
I don't think you did.
Well, then you did.
what you've done to me. What you're doing to me. I feel you growing stronger. What is it you want from me? Know this. I will fight you till my dying breath. I never asked for this! This is not how it was supposed to be. I thought we'd be heroes.
Dátum 1998. szeptember 19-e. Távolság a Holdtól 398.927 kilométer. Minimális kapcsolat volt ma. Többnyire statikus hang. Délután 3 óra körül egy régi altatódal kis része hallatszott. Majd pár órával utána néhány egyenlet, de más semmi, amit még nem küldött volna át. Folyamatosan ismételgette a 4426 számot. Nem tudom, van ennek valami jelentősége. Korábban nem említette. Egyre inkább a kommunikációt. Mi a helyzet?
This episode of Partial Veil featured Allison Cossitt as Josie Ward, Peter Wicks as Halo Rhys, Candace McAfee as Agent Diane Ramsey, Sarah Doreen MacPhee as Agent Arlene Whitt, Jarret Griffis as Agent John Boyd, Xander Grant as Dr. Carlyle, Livia Zita as Ildiko, and the Dreadwolf and Angela Ahishkal as the scientists. Partial Veil was written, directed, and edited by Allison Cossitt. Original music composed by Jakub Żerański. Partial Veil is a production of Ylem Media. Ylem Media. This is only the beginning.
Things spread out.
Gas blir till energi,
And if that's all there was, the story of the universe.
Aber wenn genug Materie vorhanden
Mundane.
und dann
But when there's enough matter for
But when there's enough, finns tillräckligt.
the second law drives the system away from
The
things.
second law drives the system.
Energy clumps here.
Materie und
Diffuses there.
Energie
Entropy increases and decreases.
Materia
Sie nimmt
klumps.
in Abhängigkeit von der
Decreases
Verteilung.
decreases.
Second law's directive is
Die
carried
Art und
out
Weise,
and thus
Ska sedan
dependent
enligt
on
the
the
manner
force
in
of
which the
gravity.
second law's directive is carried out is thus highly dependent on the force of gravity. Således starkt beroende av gravitationen.